Hey everyone, Noobs Jenny here. Sort of give you guys a quick update. I'm working on some Brits at the moment. I don't know. I did enjoy painting late war Germans. I had fun painting them, but they weren't. They didn't really translate to a fun army on the tabletop. I wasn't the biggest fan of them. I mean, elements of them were interesting. I think Berlin is one of the more interesting books if you want to get into Flames of War. But I'm actually really enjoying painting the British. These are paratroopers. They're okay in terms of how I've painted them. It's not super good, but it's functional. Um, yeah, I actually really enjoy painting British. Over there, you can see I've got some Italians over there. I have a small amount of British, so I have the D-Day, not D-Day, Bulge starter set, which is pretty good. I think in terms of if you want to get stuck into British and late war, I think it's probably the best option for you to go. Comets are the main battle tank that are featured in the box. You think you get, I don't know exactly how many you get. I think you get like maybe five, maybe I think five. No, I think it's about eight. No, sorry, not eight. Three. I think it's three. I think it's a good box. I think it's a lot easier to use than the D-Day box. The D-Day box is Cromwell's and Fireflies. And Cromwell's are they're a bit odd. They're a quicker Sherman, but the issue is that they're teamed up with Shermans in the form of Fireflies, and they don't have a lot of hitting power, but they are quick, and they're not horrifically expensive, so they definitely have their upsides. Um, yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got into these guys. Um, yeah, I would say the Comet is a nasty tank. I don't have any on me at the moment, unfortunately, but the Comet is a very, very nasty tank. It's anti-tank 14, not as much as a Challenger, but its gun packs a wallop and it's quick. I think that's like the big things that it's got in its favor. It doesn't have a lot of armor, but it's got functional armor, and it's one of its best defenses is its speed. It is fast. So using it and ducking and weaving and behind cover, shooting at tanks is really good, and it's an interesting tank to fight Germans because it the Comet is it's a tank that's very good at fighting bigger tanks. It wants that trade. It wants you to put itself in the best position possible to fight bigger tanks like your Panthers or your Tigers. Get some shots in, hit them in the side or somewhere else, and basically wallop them. I think the weakness that the Comet has is they're quite expensive. They're 3 for 21, which isn't too bad. 3 for 21's not too bad. But the issue that you've got with them is that if you're up against, say, T-34s and there's like a giant wall of them, the Comet isn't that good. Um, no, maybe not isn't good. You don't want Comet to go up against like you don't want it to go up against light medium tanks. It doesn't want to be going around fighting Panzer IVs. It wants to be going after big things. Sorry, it's late here. But yeah, no, overall, so these are my British paras. So I've got some mortars there, and these are really good. These are pack howitzers. Now these are in D-Day. These are in D-Day, and they are also in Bulge for the British. Bulge for the British is a bit of an odd one. because they were at the Battle of the Bulge, but they weren't as they were there, but they weren't. They didn't. They did do quite a bit of fighting, but different fighting. Oh, sorry. To what the Americans were dealing with. And yeah, most of Bulge covers Market Garden for the British anyway. I don't know what it covers for the Americans. But yeah, no, these are pack howitzers. They're 12 points and they save on fours, hit on fours, and they're anti. I don't know what the anti tank is, but they've got a 4+ firepower, really good skill. They've also got Mike Target. Um, the reason why you take these is because they're in formation artillery. So these guys, so at the moment, I've got these guys, that's 2 platoons in the HQ. There's the HQ over there. With these guys, the mortars. So these guys are going to be quite difficult to shift, which is really good. Because I think having these guys to be an anchor, defend, like, use them quite aggressively, they could be quite good to really cause some pain. They're good in assaults, British paratroopers. They don't get that many shots, but if you put them in the right positions, they can be very, very difficult to shift. Yeah, so I got so I got 3 mortars. I'm hoping to get some machine guns, some heavy machine guns, the Vickers. So just be really good at pinning things and being generally annoying. And then you've also got these. These are the Crusaders. I accidentally broke one of the barrels, but this is the free. This is the one that isn't broken. The Crusaders aren't bad. These ones anyway. I didn't put the what's it called, the fuel tank on it. Um, Crusaders aren't bad. These are the AA ones. They're really really cheap. And you can get quite a few of them, and they're not expensive at all. Um, no, they're a good way to fill out a comet formation. The British formations are a bit different to the German ones. The German ones tend to get a lot of stuff in them. The British ones, it's very much what you see is what you get. If you're running Churchills, that's all you get is Churchills. If you're running, they don't get a lot of. They're not like as variable as the German ones. So yeah, no, they're not too bad. The British, I've enjoyed playing them. I'm learning how the army plays. I haven't done so good with them, but they are entertaining. They're not. I feel like sometimes when you're playing Germans, there's a lot of like optimization. Like you have to play a game before you play the game. Um, the Germans, I think, like they'll have multiple different versions of the same tank, which is a bit weird. I mean, it's not weird, but it's something you have to take into consideration. You've just constantly be thinking like, how do I optimize this? What's the best way to do what? Yeah. Yeah. So the other bit of news is yeah, I got rid of my Napoleonics. That's a bit sad, but I wasn't really. I got them over lockdown. I think they served the purpose of just mucking around with them. And I think they're in good homes. Let's just say that a local wargamer here in NZ, he bought them, my Russians, which were pretty cool. So I'm pretty happy. And yeah, and then I got them at the time when, I mean, Epic Black Powder didn't exist, and that's sort of why I'm making this video. So in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be getting some Epic Black Powder stuff. I'm getting the Prussians, which should be good for a laugh. Still going to keep working on these guys though. The Prussians are good fun. And I've been watching a few videos on how to paint them. It doesn't seem too bad. I know Miniature Realms has a really good video about painting them. Um, and I'm not trying to say that I'm a better painter than he, but I'm going to not use. I'm not going to use contrast paints on my guys. No, it's not that I don't believe in them. I do. I think contrast paints are really nice, but in all due honesty, I I don't. Sometimes I think they could be a little bit more work than's actually advertised. So I'm just going to stick to using these. I'm probably going to paint my Landwehr like that, light Prussian blue, and then I'm going to probably paint my regular infantry dark Prussian blue. I might actually mix between the two for my Landwehr, just to give them a bit of variation because these guys are conscripts basically. Well, they're reserve infantry, so yeah, Napoleonics I think are good fun. I think the epic stuff is a really good medium. I think too for people because the thing is 28 mm Napoleonics. They're really good. They're nice figures, particularly if you're dealing with the Perrys or Victrix. But the thing is that there's so many of them, and that's ironic considering I'm going into 15 mil figures. But I just think that like it's a lot more manageable at that smaller scale. You don't have to worry about you know, you don't have to worry about the detail as much. You don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about the detail as much. Yeah, and you don't have to worry about the frontages or anything like that because you're basically just getting a whole Prussian army and just sticking it in the bases and it's fine. Some of the sculpts are a bit, I'm not exactly sure, but I think overall, I think that you look at the Landwehr, look at the infantry, and the detail on them is really, really nice. And yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to doing that. So yeah, and he's a friend of mine. He's getting British, and then another person I know they're getting French. So, and then another person I've heard of, they're in the same group as us. He's getting French too. So we're going to have quite a few French people. The other thing too to look forward to that I'm hoping to do some videos on is the epic. What do you call it? Epic Hannibal ancient battles from from Warlord with Hail Caesar. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's a really good scale to do it in too. I think one of the other cool things about it as well is like you actually get plastic Carthaginian cavalry. I don't think they exist anywhere really. In order to get like heavy Carthaginian cavalry, I think the only way you can do that is if you get Hart Industries 1/72nd scale Carthaginian command set, and yeah, and you can't really get Hart figures here, so that's kind of a shame. But yeah, no, those figures are kind of hard to come by. But yeah, no, it should be good fun. So I'm doing the Prussians. I've been looking at some videos in terms of how to paint them. Basically, what I'm going to probably do is keep them on the bases, spray them Mechanicus Standard Grey, and then what I'm probably going to do is paint the cuffs, look at the flags, and then organize the flags and paint the sprues so I can color coordinate what goes with what. So I can easily just go, oh, okay, cool. So it's this regiment goes, these cuffs and whatever go with this regiment, etc, etc. There's some actually quite. I got some Osprey books on it, so I'm looking forward to doing that. I've got a D-Day event coming up with some friends at the local group that we've got going with Flames, so that's going to be fun. Over King's birthday weekend. So what we're going to do with that is like a sort of series of scenarios, not so much a tournament. So we're going to do like Wittmann's Wild Ride, and which is a scenario from one of the D-Day books from Flames of War. We're going to do like a Pegasus Bridge operation. And then Juno and Gold Beach, maybe. I'm not exactly sure which beaches with who. I know that Utah and Omaha are both the American beaches, but there's Juno, Sword, and Gold, and I always I get a bit, I wouldn't say a bit confused in who's who, but I think it's like Juno and Gold are both. I think yeah, no, Juno and Gold are both British, and I think no, I think it's Sword and Gold is British, and then Juno's Canadian. I'm not exactly 100% sure, but anyway. So that's probably like my little video for today. Yeah, no, overall I think these figures are quite nice. The resin, they're like a plasticky kind of thing. It's the ones I've dealt with, they're nice figures. The sculpts are okay. They're not. They're fine. They're functional. But the material that I have, it's quite like brittle. Like yeah. I mean, in that situation, I could not be bothered with him. But yeah, no. Overall, the figures I think are fine. I would recommend getting British paratroopers. They're quite good. The Frost ones are nice. I think one of the big differences between the Frost ones and the D-Day ones is the Frost ones, they get access to 17 pounders and 6 pounders. The D-Day ones, yeah, so they get a full complement of 6 pounders and a full complement of 17 pounders. So they are quite tough. And then Frosters, he basically can take almost everything else. But I think one of his major differences is that he can take two-man units of 6 pounders. I don't know if that's worth it. I don't know if you could make it work, but overall, I think Frost's paras are quite good. The D-Day ones aren't too bad either, but you don't get that heavy. If you're going up against Jagdpanthers and Bulge, you're not going to have a huge amount of heavy anti-tank options at your disposal. But anyway, I will catch you later, team, and you guys keep safe and well, and I'll talk to you soon.